Tune into Coach's Corner Mondays at 9:30, empowering you with practical tools to thrive no matter what. With myself, Sam Lehoko, and Candace from Grit Grow. Coach's Corner is brought to you by Feel Good Fourways, a Grit Grow Mix 93.8 and Blue Hearts Community Initiative. Right, it's that time again, 33 after 9. Good morning to you. Happy Monday. Candace is in the building. How are you, madame?
I am fantastic. Good morning, ladies.
Hello. Yes. Why are you feeling fantastic on this Monday morning?
I have started intermittent fasting. Nice. It's really, really working fantastically. We had some live music, more live music. It feels like I say that every single week. We went to that Park Live.
Stunning.
Yes, with Jeremy Loops, and it was fantastic. Really, really good.
Big Jeremy fan. So this morning we're talking about the power of forgiveness.
Big one today.
Let's get into it.
It is a big one today.
If people could write in today to say what is that little thing, that niggle that they're struggling to let go of, and then we'll get into it, but they could even write anonymously, because there's something about putting it out there and sharing it that helps you to let it go.
Yeah.
As opposed to just keeping it in and letting it fester.
So use it now. This is your vent space. We are here, safe space.
All right, and we're talking about forgiveness. So
Yes.
who's that one person that you've been struggling to forgive, even if it's yourself?
Yeah.
Yes. So this theme today actually came from a personal thing that happened for me this last week. I woke up 2 or 3 days just feeling niggly, like I'm not my old happy self, and I took out a pen and paper and I just started to write, and I don't know what happened, but it was every single thing that I've been holding on to for myself over the last, I even went back 20 years. And it was little things like the day that I lost it with my child and blamed them for something that wasn't their fault, or overreacted with the parent of a child that I taught. And when I was done, I had 2 full scrap pieces of paper.
Hectic.
Of things that I was holding on to. And I don't know what happened, but I went and I got a lighter and some blitz, and I literally burnt that piece of paper. And it was obviously a spiritual thing, but it was a letting go on a level that I can't explain. And I think that's also a big reason why I'm feeling so great today.
Sorry, just if you did have to wake up with those kind of feelings, it just shows how much it actually accumulates, the feelings of feeling pent-up tension and all of that. And imagine that it manifested itself and it acted out in a bad way.
Absolutely.
So that's really powerful that you were
Yeah.
able to do that.
I've never seen it like that. That's really, really cool. Why do we struggle so much to forgive? Let's start with other people. So the thing is, we think we're going to let them off the hook. So we think that they're going to get away with what they've done if we forgive them. But that's not what it is at all. In actual fact, it's really about us. And it is probably one of the most selfish things you could ever do. Because again, resentment is like drinking poison and
Expecting the other person to die. Yeah.
yes, so we're killing ourselves by holding on to it. When we forgive others, it doesn't mean we like what happened. It doesn't mean that we're saying it's okay. But we are saying, I don't want to hold on to this anymore, so I'm going to let go because it's not serving me.
Yeah. And the challenge with, resentments and not wanting to forgive others is that you're sitting with the resentment while the other person is just carrying on with their lives, isn't it?
And you may actually be falling over into other aspects of your life.
100%.
Or other individuals can actually be criticizing you for forgiving someone else, a third party.
Pressure.
It festers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It festers inside of you and it comes out. The biggest thing is in depression, because you're sitting in the past. So you're sitting in the past, you're feeling depressed. So the physical cost to yourself, to your mental state, to your body, it holds you back. It's the one thing I found personally that holds me back the most, is just not being able to let go.
So we spoke about struggling to forgive others. Why do we struggle to forgive ourselves?
We are our own worst enemies. We are the hardest on ourselves, and we just think we need to be perfect. So when we don't get it right, we've got another thing to add to our list. But when you realize that every mistake you've ever made was number one, you learn a lesson out of every single one, but that you were really doing the best you could with what you had at the time. And that your intention at that moment was never to hurt someone. It was never to cause a problem. It was never to do anything other than that's all you knew at the time, and you were
Good
doing
intentions.
the best you could.
Absolutely.
It's taking accountability for it.
Absolutely. So I think we have spoken more or less about, what it costs us when we don't forgive, right?
Yes.
But let's take a look at the blessings that come out of moving forward, forgiving others, forgiving ourselves, right?
Wow. There are so many.
Yeah.
The first one is, like when I say a giant weight has been lifted off your shoulders, everything in your life gets better. So whatever that whole thing of your internal circumstances is a reflection of your external and not the other way around. Everything starts to work better. Like if you struggle to get to work on time, suddenly you are getting to work on time. If something that was used to bug you a lot, it suddenly doesn't get to you so much. So the external things, life starts running smoothly and flowing. There's less resistance. Immediately you will notice the benefits if you just decide, you know what, I'm letting go. And how do we do that? We just make a choice. We just say, I'm done with this, and it's not serving me, and today is the day I'm letting it go.
Yes, beautiful.
But what happens if it's a really, really old wound, something that you're struggling to forgive? And we actually got a question here from Anonymous saying, I hate my father for a lot of various reasons for the past 25 years, and I am happy, satisfied, and content with the fact that I dislike him. It makes me feel true to my feelings. If I am content with the way I feel, then is that forgiveness aspect we're talking about necessary?
Sure, the mind is such a tricky thing because all the research has shown that is poisoning. That is poisoning you, and you've just found a way to be okay with it. And that's just a deep level of, I cannot let this go. And yes, our minds will justify it, and our minds will make up every single possible reason. And to know that your father, I mean, I don't think that there's a parent on this earth that hasn't hurt us in some way.
Yeah.
But again, just like we didn't intend to hurt other people, that's never why they go about doing what they did.
Yeah.
And again, they were doing the very best they could with what they had. That's a big thing, is to see it from that point of view and to know that this is maybe not now, maybe you won't see the cost now, but in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, and maybe just at their funeral one day, you're going to regret it at some stage, and you're going to say, I can't undo this. I wish I had that time back.
You know, just going back to you were talking about the intention, and you hope that the intention is good. But what happens if you do have an individual who has malicious intents and they do end up hurting you quite strongly? I think it does add that different element of it makes it a lot more complicated because you're trying to look at where they came from, why they did what they did.
Wow. That's a great question. But do you know that the only people that intently hurt people are people that have mental disabilities, like psychopaths.
Yeah.
Wow.
So hurt people.
Absolutely.
So the more they hurt you, the more it's showing that they are hurting and that they're carrying their own stuff and that it's just vomiting up onto the people that they love the most.
So all these little things that they bring up is basically just the vomit.
It's the vomit.
Yeah. It's me. And I think, this is something that we've spoken about quite a few times as well, is, people who are like layers, underneath all of these different layers, there is a level of pain, there is a level of hurt. We spoke about the projection as well. And I think the best thing that we can ever do for ourselves is just look at self. What was my role, particularly with this message from Anonymous? And we're not saying that your feelings are not warranted
or
validated, but what we're saying is that, what was your role in the relationship? What could you have done differently? How can you approach the situation differently?
How can you rewire your brain into thinking so when you think of that person, you don't get that horrible sour feeling on the inside, but you actually just feel like, okay, and you move it aside.
100%. How do we move forward? And then, what I like to refer to quite a number of times is the universal law, the law of detachment, right? We detach with love and we move forward. Think about the present and the future.
Look, it's not easy, but when you do it and you get to the other side and you realize that you have that amount of strength inside of you, because it's not easy. I think it's one of the hardest things to do. And when you've done it and you can look at yourself and go, oh my goodness, look what I did. Look how much strength that took. Then you can move forward on a whole new level.
So activities for the week, guys.
Yes.
What are we doing?
We are learning to forgive. And even if that's one thing at a time, because remember, you do the work, you get the reward. You do the work, you get the reward. So with everything you let go, and it might be start with the small things. And the more little things you let go of, you're like, I can actually do that. By the time you get to the big ones, like Anonymous's message, by then it will be easier. Absolutely.
100%. And obviously, Feel Good 4 Ways, you guys assist with this as well.
So we can help you on this 2-hour workshop on the 26th of November. So Sam and I are going to be there, sharing our own personal stories, hoping to inspire you, and then helping you to find what's blocking you, why you're resisting, and how to move your life forward. Something just popped into my head. I need to give a shout out to the 4 Ways High teachers and management team.
Yes.
They just finished the grit training last week, and this morning I woke up and the first thing that I thought about was, compared to when I was growing up, and the teachers blaming kids for their bad mood and taking it out on the kids, and these teachers were just like owning their stuff and doing their work, and I was like, there is hope for the future. So
that's fantastic.
Well done. I was super proud of them.
Lovely. So Candace, thank you once more for coming and joining us in studio again. Of course, we're directing everybody to the Facebook page, and we'll be talking about that event that's happening on the 26th of November. I'll be a guest, your guest, ma'am.
Yes, they need to go through Cricket and look for Feel Good 4 Ways and book their tickets.
Fantastic. All right, so there's lots of more messages coming through, and we'll have a look at that.
Just on that, is there going to be any other workshops, because someone's not here for that weekend? I'm sure that will be updated on the Grit Grow website.
That is correct. On the website, through the Instagram, all our stuff goes through Instagram, Growing Resilience Within, and there's always stuff coming up.
So keep track of that. I'm sure they will update you when they have further dates in plan.
Absolutely. So we'll have a look at your message a little bit later after these, and traffic as well. And Candace, can't wait to hear from you on Friday.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Coach's Corner was brought to you by Feel Good 4 Ways, a Grit Grow Mix 93.8 and Blue Hearts Community Initiative. If you're feeling bogged down by life, it's not surprising with everything that's been thrown at you. But what if there was another way? You may just not have been given the how. Spend 2 hours with myself, Sam Lehoko, and Candace from Grit Grow, and leave with a set of practical tools to thrive, no matter what. Book your tickets to Feel Good 4 Ways for Saturday, 26 November at 9 a.m. all the way at DC Coffee Shop. Tickets available through Grit Grow for only 175 Rand per person. Feel Good 4 Ways, a Grit Grow Mix 93.8 and Blue Hearts Community Initiative.